Well, hello everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with this review of the 2020 Tesla Model 3. Now, this was a long time coming, and this video was actually supposed to be out a little while ago. But I was supposed to do a 6-month review, but actually never happened. Things happened. I think a wedding happened, yeah, so I got married. But in the meantime, a little extra time with the Tesla Model 3 to really understand it and really get to know it. So in this video, this is going to be a 1 year review of the Tesla Model 3. And we're going to talk everything that you could possibly want to know. What's the build quality like? Does it squeak? Does it rattle? How's the charging situation? Is it annoying? How's the power? Is the power good? Sneak preview, yes, it's very good. We're going to talk all about that, the good, the bad, and the ugly with the Tesla Model 3 and just an electric vehicle in general. So if you want to find out more about that, feel free to keep watching the rest of this video. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the exterior. Let's do a little walk around here. It's a really nice exterior. And from the side, getting down low, you can see those curves on here. And let's talk about the wheels a little bit too. So these have the 18-inch, what's called the Aero wheel. Now this is just a cap. This will actually, at higher speed, give you a little bit better aerodynamics, therefore a little better range. But at low speed, you don't have to have these on. You can just pull all of these off, and underneath, you're left with a pretty nice looking rim here. Now there is a little center cap that will cover this and put little T's over all the lug nuts. But that rim itself looks really nice. So now let's talk a little bit about the cameras. Right here, this is a blinker, a turn signal indicator. And that's a camera for the self-driving system. The mirrors, they do fold in and out by themselves, which is really nice. Now the handles here, very interesting handle. I have a lot of people that come into the Tesla for the first time and they're just trying to help, how do I get in? To get into the Tesla, what you have to do is, the thicker part here, you want to use your thumb. You use your thumb to press in there, and then when you do that, this comes out, and then once you press in, you can grab the rest of the way and then let go. That's how you open the Tesla, the door on the Tesla, and then just close it back out. The other thing that's interesting here, the window, this is all frameless. So when I open the door, the window goes down a little bit, which allows the actual frameless window to pull away from inside here. So if I put the window all the way down here, it's a completely frameless door or a window. So it actually looks very sporty here and very coupe-like or convertible-like. If I put the window back up, the car is going to know the door is open. So you can see it left a little extra right there. It knows not to put the window all the way up. So then when I close the door, it'll finish putting the window up and tuck it nice, safe, and away under there. So that's all the doors. And then turning around to the rear here. But it actually looks really nice. It's very sporty-like. You get those curves, very low look, very wide look too. Over here, this is your charge port. So inside of here, it's a little dark. There we go. That's the charge port. So that is how I would plug in and charge the car. And now, since I tapped it to open the door, I can just push that back down and it locks it back in place. Another neat thing down here, these little tabs, that's radar. The car has radar to detect how close it is to objects. The newer Teslas do not have this radar in there. And I just love these lines. So if you look down the lines here, just look at that sporty curve right there and that very aerodynamic curve. So through here, it molds the wind so it keeps it very aerodynamic and very, very stable. Now another thing with this, the curb weight, it is a little over 5,000 pounds. That is heavy for a car. My WRX before that was actually 3,200 pounds. So this was a little over, or a little under 2,000 pounds more, and it's almost the same size. It's just a little bit longer. And then coming back around this side, we have that nice curve there. If I come around from the front, we see that nice aerodynamic line that's going through. The headlights, because they're all LED, it's very nice and bright. We have fog lights down here. Down onto the bottom here. In here, this is an air intake. Yes, Teslas do have radiators. And that is the intake for the radiator. It's very small, so I don't have to have a big grill, which actually aids aerodynamics. Having all of this not be a grill and just be solid, but curved, that makes the car more aerodynamic. So that was a little walkthrough of the exterior. Let's hop on inside and talk a little bit about the interior. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the interior. It's very minimalistic. So we take a look here. I have my steering wheel. It's locked right, turns right now, but I just have a button here and I have a button here. They both scroll and click. So the left side, this one is for your media. This is for your controls for the autopilot and the voice commands. Over here, this is your touch screen. Now the touch screen is really what's going to be controlling everything. So I have the car. I can open the front. I can open the trunk. I can lock and unlock the car. And it has very pleasant sounds. So I could do all that from here. At the top, I have here the range, or the percentage left. So this is showing 39%. If I tap it, it'll show the range. 39% is about 115 miles of range. I like to keep it on battery percentage. The snowflake there means the battery is cold, so you're not going to get full regen out of it. And then we have here the touch screen, the nav system. So all that's here. At the bottom, I have some shortcuts set up for phone. This one is for the entertainment, the audio system. These are stats for the amount of power I'm using. I have the full camera system, so I can go in here and take a look at the left and the right, and then the rear camera. I don't need the front because I can just look out the front. There's a whole lot that's actually inside of this, and it's all controlled through here. Looking behind, there's nothing. There's just one long vent. This is all right here. This is just a vent. There's nothing, no buttons, no nothing. Same thing with the glove box. With the glove box itself, there's actually nothing there. So to open the glove box, I have to actually go into the settings here and tap glove box. That opens the glove box. Or I can use the voice commands. Open glove box. There we go. So it's very simple. And I like that nice minimalistic simplicity that's inside of there. So that's something I really enjoyed with this versus another one I looked at was the Polestar 2. Polestar 2 felt very like contemporary with lots of buttons and switches everywhere. So it was really cool. But I just liked this interior better because it was very simple. And one other thing, not a lot of people really get to know or really understand until you get inside of a Tesla, is the roof. So I'm going to show you up here. It is tinted, but it's a full panoramic roof, whether it's the front or the back. And I love just being able to sit in here and I can look out front. And then when I'm just sitting and relaxing or just waiting in traffic, I just look up, and then through the tinted window, I can just take a look at the nice panoramic view in the sky here. So that's something really nice to have. I can basically see everywhere in the sky up above. So that's something really cool to be able to have inside of here. The way you get in and out, or at least out here, on the side, this is your grip to close. Let me get a closer look there. This is to grab to close the door. There's a button here. I press this, and I can open the door, and then just pull this to close. And then the only other buttons inside here are here. Your window buttons. So just normal window down, window up. And those are really your only buttons. Inside here, this is very, very spacious. So I tap the first one and that pops open. This is where my phone can sit, and there's chargers down here. There's also a way to get a wireless charging pad, which I have not gotten yet. If I tap the bottom one, this pops open here. And then this can flip up, so I have very deep inside here. So I have an extra mask. I have the hard drive, and this hard drive is what is used for the Sentry mode, which I didn't really mention too much, but Sentry mode's really cool. That uses all of the cameras. So that's inside there. We have the cup holders. Then back here, we have just more storage deep inside there, because there's no transmission tunnel. There's nothing under the floorboard here. I'm basically sitting on the battery right now. And because of that, there's a lot of storage that can be in this spot here. Like, you don't even have to have all of this front space. This could just be open, so that could be all foot space, technically. But it's nice to at least have some storage space that is hidden from view, at least. Now, moving on to the rear seat. Oh, before we do that, the rear seat's kind of interesting, specifically in this situation, because the interior here, where I'm sitting, I'm pretty far from the steering wheel. I usually like to be a little bit closer, and my feet are usually a little bit closer. This has programmed modes. So when I activate the drive mode just by tapping on the brake, the steering wheel starts moving. I'm moving. So now I'm in my driving position. So my feet are in the proper position here, and my hands are in the proper position. You always want to try and get your wrist on there. You turn your hand down. That's how you know your wrist is in the right position. So that's really cool to be able to do. And then when you leave the car or you put it in park, this goes back into the easy entry mode. So the steering wheel goes forward, the seat goes back, allowing me extra space to go in and out of the car. So in the rear seat, it's not going to be the most spacious because I pushed the seat all the way back. But for now, let's take a quick peek in the rear. All right, so I hopped in the rear seat. I moved the driver's seat into my normal driving position. And with me basically sitting behind myself, there's so much room back here. You got little pouches behind each of the seats. It is so roomy in the rear seat here. And you just look up and you see all of this. So from here, if you're in the rear seat, you just look up. You can see everything. So it's so cool to have this panoramic look throughout the entirety of the car, pretty much. You do have this little beam right up here, and this is where there's some dome lights, or lights that the rear passengers can put on and off. Over here, this is the coat rack, so I basically just press this in, and out pops the little coat rack here. Push it back in. And the same thing is on the other side over there. Press that, coat rack comes out. But it's just so roomy back here, and it's very comfortable. And what's actually interesting, I didn't mention this from the front seat, but the rear seats, just like the front seats, are all heated. So there are 5 heated seats in the Tesla. You have the 2 front seats, the driver's seat and the passenger, and then each of these, including the middle seat, this is heated. Now you can use it as a middle seat, or You can bring this down, and I have a nice armrest here. So I have two like bucket seats kind of here with an armrest in the middle with two more cup holders. So that's really nice. So I could use that as an armrest, or if I want to get a third passenger, I can have three people like fairly comfortably fit in here. So that is really nice, and it is not a lap style seatbelt. This is a full 3-point seatbelt that will click down into here. So that's nice to have for safety reasons. So you have very nice padded leather. Now this particular Tesla I have, so I did buy it used, and the one I got used has what's called the premium interior. So the premium interior has a subwoofer in it. The base one does not have a subwoofer. Also, it has these nice padded leather seats. But also because I bought it used, it actually had everything unlocked. So it had the acceleration boost, which we'll see in the driving section there. Also, it has the rear seat heaters unlocked. So when you buy a Tesla Model 3 just base, the seat heaters are physically installed in the seats, but they're not activated. You either have to call Tesla and buy the activation for the seat heaters, or through your app you can pay to have the rear seat heaters unlocked. So that's a little bit controversial. The same thing with the full self-driving, but we'll talk more about full self-driving and autopilot in that section there. But otherwise, really in the rear seat here, it is a very comfy space. There's plenty of cup holders. There's one, there's 2, 3 in the middle there, 4. There's 4 cup holders back here. And then up front, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4. So we have 8 cup holders in the whole car. And then you have that giant storage space in there. Oh, that reminds me. One other interesting thing that I mentioned, because there's no drive shaft or transmission tunnel. If you're sitting in the middle. So I'm in the middle seat right now. What you're going to see down here is you actually have plenty of foot space. This is all empty foot space, so it goes actually underneath the vents down here. So I have plenty of space that keep my feet up in there, just like I did when I was over here and I put my feet up under the seat in front of me. The middle seat, and what's nice is the rubber mat that I bought, it has that extra piece to go up in there. So underneath the spot with the air vents and the USB, plenty of space for your feet to go up there. So yeah, it might be a little bit tight, but footroom wise, middle seat would be pretty good. And from the middle seat, you still get all of this panoramic view. So overall, I am so pleased with this interior. It's the best interior I have ever had. Now, a quick preview in terms of quality control, which we'll talk about in the next section, but I have not had any quality control issues so far, which I don't think I'm going to have by now. Fingers crossed. And my suspicion with that is because this is a used car. So the first owner, and there was only one owner ahead of me of this car, the first owner that got the car brand new, they may have had quality control issues that they brought to Tesla and had fixed. But because they got it fixed and then traded it in back to Tesla, and they may have upgraded to a newer model, and I got the 2021 model here, I don't have any quality control issues on the interior here. Probably because they were all taken care of. But I can't say for certain if there were or were not any from the factory with this one. There is one issue I've had when it got really cold, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video in the service part here, because I did have to bring this car into Tesla service. But overall for the interior, huge thumbs up. I'd do a double thumbs up if I wasn't holding the camera, but double thumbs up. Amazing interior. Sounds excellent for a factory sound system. I don't want to play anything here because I don't want a copyright strike. And you can't really capture the sound quality and the thump of the subwoofer through a little lav mic here. So 10 out of 10 interior here for me. I thoroughly enjoy this, and up at the front, that nice little accent of wood. That's very nice.